All right. Let's see if this works. Welcome, chat. We'll see if this one works. Hello to everybody who's popping in, and hello, everybody who's returning. Happy to see all of you guys. Dating. Again, what does dating look like in the year 2025? Well, I'm going to be very clear. If you want to go from single all the way to married, you need to understand that dating is an unnatural process. Dating is not something our ancestors really had to do. It is not normal to go out and have to find a complete and total stranger you know nothing about and then try to build an intimate life with them. It is not normal. It's not reasonable. It's not a skill set that you should have to acquire. But in 2025, it is all too common for people to be dating right now and dating, and burning out on it. A lot of you are probably here on on this stream talking about going from single to married. You're probably here because you're exhausted by dating. You're tired of looking for random people. You're tired of not knowing who to talk to or how to filter. Maybe you're having a hard time meeting the right person. Let's talk about that here tonight. I'm going to talk to you guys a lot about what this process looks like, and I'd love to hear from you. Hello, chat. Welcome in here. Say hi when you guys pop in. I love seeing your names and I love greeting you guys. This is kind of like think of it like a party in my house where you guys are all invited in. I love to greet you guys and talk with you. This is a two-way street in here. So come on in. Don't be shy. Say hi. Let me know what is your relationship status right now, whatever it may be. Even if it's super complicated, let me know. I'm used to those. Seafoam and Mina, good to see both of you in here. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the conversation tonight. How to go from single to married. That's what we're talking about here tonight. Hi, just started seeing someone. Good for you, Sandra. How long now have you been dating? How long have you been seeing each other? Okina, hi, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome. Glad you're here. Everybody, relationship status. Let me know who I'm talking to here. I would love to hear. Um, Again, dating is not a natural process. You shouldn't have to find a total complete stranger, bet everything on them, and then hope somehow that this stranger is going to be perfect for you for the rest of your life. A Hogan Still, support the channel. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you, Hogan. So glad to have you here. Let me know what questions you have. I'm here to answer them. Alyssa Mullen, there you are. Taken. Got it. Love it. Got it. Good. Ellen, dating an avoidant man 2.5 years, was living together, just moved out, still together. It's complicated. Totally hear you. Totally hear you. Anita, hi, Adam, dating a DA for 5 months. Ooh, okay. You're getting to that point where the novelty dopamine is really starting to wear off for them. Do you know, are they oxytocin bonding with you yet, Anita? Arkian, glad you're here. Welcome. Step one, get him Russian mail or bride. Maybe not. If you get bored of her, get repeat number one. I hear that. I hear you. Maybe not, but I hear what you mean. I'm single, hoping to meet someone soon. Nice, Mina. Got it. Sandra, we just made it official this week. Congratulations. That is awesome. MBR, good to see you. Current status single and hopeless. All my friends are married. Virtually all their friends are married. Okay. You need more friends. You need a bigger circle of friends. Hi from Arizona. Welcome, Jane. Dating my boyfriend for 20 years. He's 71, never married, 64, married a long time ago for 9 years. Got it. Got it. You guys are dating in that. I have a tremendous number of clients coming in to my coaching practice right now, exactly in that age group. So it's getting spicy in that age group. Um, Avery, avoiding relationships. That's common. Lillian, do avoidants get married? It's been 6 years. They do, but not usually if it's been 6 years. They're usually avoiding pretty hard at that point. Joaquina, how to resolve while holding resentment and holding back so much disagreement? How to keep from disappointing each other? There were no talking, very uncomfortable. I have some videos on that about how to deal with that resentment. I would go check those out here on this channel. Very important to resolve those conflicts together. I have some videos on them. Check them out. I think dating is fun. Okay. I like to hear it. Amy, welcome in here. Currently dealing with being single and enjoying it, wanting a solid partnership. 49% no drama, 51 ready to put in the work. I hear that loud and clear, Amy. Loud, and I know you have been. I know you have been. Brock, 2 times divorce, healing from dismissive avoidant marriage. Narcissistic was my first marriage of 20. Ooh, now I'm anxious, confused, and ungrounded. I have a number of videos here on this channel showing you how to start rebuilding from some of that, rebuilding from a narcissistic partner, I had one recently. Could a bad relationship change your attachment style? Check that out. That will help because it gives you tips to push back on that so that you don't bear those scars for the rest of your life that the other person imposed on you. I would check that out very much, Brock. And I am here to help if you need anything. Please let me know. From dating to marriage. Okay, here's what you need to know. You need to be about 80% securely attached to make this method work. Okay, what I'm about to teach you, 80% secure, meaning you understand how reasonably to have secure relationships. You're not perfect. 1 in 5, you're still stressed out, and maybe fall short, and then you have to go correct it and make up for it. Do not have to be perfect. The closer you are to 99%, the better. But right now, 80% good enough. Okay. You need to be going out and doing what's called the 3-date method. I built this here. I've got a video for it here on this channel. The 3-date method is building the 3 types of chemistry. You need to be building, first of all, primal chemistry with the first date, and establishing on that first date. You need to be talking about, I am looking for a committed relationship. Are you? In a friendly, polite kind of way. Hey, look, we don't have to get married today, but I do want to get married eventually. Maybe I'd like to have kids, or I would like to have kids down the road. Not right now. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Are you looking for a long-term committed relationship? If so, awesome. What does that look like to you? If not, that's totally fine. We'll finish our dinner, we'll have a great time, and then we'll high five, we'll go our separate ways. Love it. This is a good conversation to have in the last, let's say, third of that first date with somebody. Now you're looking at primal chemistry. Do you like how they look, how they sound, how they smell, how they talk, their sense of humor? Basics, the basics on this first date. Now, second date, a little bit deeper. Okay. Second date, personal chemistry, beliefs, values, goals, principles, ethics, relationships, what they want in life, hobbies and interests. Maybe 20% of this. Most people are only hobbies and interests. That's not going to hold you through in a marriage. It's really not. Hobbies and interests is not what you're going to spend your time on, especially if you start having kids and moving forward or building a life of purpose. Without the kids, yes, hobbies and interests are a little bit more. But if you're going to be having kids, that's bottom, absolute bottom. All the rest, principles, values, goals, religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, these pieces, what you're trying to build and achieve in your life. That second date, crucial for establishing personal chemistry. Third date, attachment chemistry. You knew this was coming. I'm the attachment specialist. Again, you need to be 80%. You need to check that they're also 80%. You do this by sharing, here are the challenges I'm working on in my life right now, and I'm improving and I'm loving it, but here's how they could impact you right now. Here's where I'm not perfect. What questions do you have? And then what can you tell me about your challenges? Can you be realistic too? Healthy people will be realistic. They will have challenges. We all do. We always will. And they'll show you what they're doing about it. Not, well, I have this massive crippling addiction and I hate my life and I'm crushingly depressed and everyone hates me and I have no friends. But if we get together, I could probably work on that. No. And not, well, I'm perfect. I have nothing wrong with me. Everything's great. No. Attachment chemistry. Can they open up and have a reasonable conversation about their red flags and turn those red flags into green flags because they're working on them? This is the 3-date method. Now, some of you asking, how do I even get someone to a first date? And some of you asking, what do you do after that third date, right? Backtrack. How do you get somebody? Okay. There's a number of ways of doing this. I'm going to check in with chat. How you guys doing over there? See, I'm just like going. I'm into this topic. I love it. Lighting looks good, warm and cozy. Thank you. I have the main lights on and then the big room lights on. So everything's on. My editor would probably be crazy and upset right now and frustrated, but it's okay. Looks beautiful. Phoenix, good to see you as always. Welcome in here. Very realistic 3-date method. It is, honestly, and it filters out people really fast, right? The people who don't want to commit a relationship will run screaming. The people who want a committed relationship need you to be talking about it, or they'll think you're not interested and they'll ghost you. They'll leave because they think you're just here for fun and they're tired of fun. They want real substance. Arkan, I've probably already mentioned this, but at my age, I think I have to be open to potentially dating a single mom. Some people are. Are you willing to be a stepfather? What would that look like to you? Do you want that? Are you open to that? Pay attention to that and be honest with yourself. It's also going to change who the child is probably and how you integrate with them and who the mom is and how things work and who the father is. There's so many pieces that come in. Right? I'm a single mom of 8 kids. Each child has a different dad, and I expect you to pay all my bills immediately on day one. Maybe not. I'm a single mom. I was in this marriage. I tried really hard. He ended up leaving me It didn't work out. I'm taking such good care of my child now. I'm not looking for a replacement father. I do want a good, healthy, masculine figure in our lives, but I don't expect you to step in and take all that support immediately. I want to see that you and I are a good fit first, and then we'll slowly introduce you there and see if you guys can get along. And then we would build a connected relationship where you'd be more maybe like an uncle to him. And that would be really healthy for him. And if you're willing to do that, awesome. That's a better system for dating a single mom. Okay. Understand that. Understand that there are major differences there. So, um, now, Amy, what are your thoughts on meeting someone via dating to date via mutual activities, dating apps? Mutual activities is okay. So much better and so much more natural with our human systems is a matchmaking process. You probably saw my video here on this channel recently, a couple days ago, about matchmaking. I interviewed the CEO of Talkify, the biggest matchmaking company in America. Official matchmaking, amazing. Family and friends matchmaking, also. This is natural back to hunter gatherer times. Your family and friends would have helped you find a suitable partner, usually in the surrounding tribes. Hunter gatherers are about 20 to 30 members. And then we have a brain capacity of carrying about 150 people, which means surrounding your tribe and four surrounding tribes, interchanging with partners, intermarrying. That was the cycle for most hunter gatherers, and they might have different overlapping circles, but again, 150 kind of structure with you and four other tribes. Okay, your tribe and four other tribes. Matchmaking was very common throughout all of human history. So building those connections, building those communities, connecting through them, asking for help. I am looking for a husband. I am looking for a wife. Guys, find me somebody. Find me a good partner for me. As you start upping your value in your community and your tribe, they want you to be happy and they want to connect you to the best people. You have to up your own value in your community. This does not mean just giving them money. There's a lot of ways to up your value inside a community, but you also need to be immersing with them. You need to have secure attachment so they trust you and want to connect you to somebody. You have to have secure attachment to have the guts to ask to be match made with friends and family. You have to have these connection moments. And frankly, if you don't have a connected community like this, you're not integrated yet, you're not plugged in as a social mammal. This is a low quality of life, and you're probably very miserable and nervous and scared and disconnected. Or you're avoidant and you're telling yourself you don't have any feelings at all because you've turned everything off because you're so miserable. So you need to integrate with a community and then build your connection in that community and then let them know. And if that's not working, because your community is MBR, I'm thinking of you, everybody in your community is already pre-married, expand your community to more healthy people. Keep expanding. A lot of women say, well, I have two friends and every guy they know is already taken. So there are no men in the world who will ever get married. I'm just doomed. No, why do you only know two people? What's your quality of life like? Improve your community and improve your network and improve your matchmaking capacity. Keep going and be asking for help. If you don't want to do that, you're not sure about that, get a professional matchmaker. They go all there's so many types. Again, I vouch for Talkify because I love their system and their setup. I love how they handle it. And you can watch that video. I think we posted it yesterday here on this channel about matchmaking. Go check out that interview I did with her. It was fantastic. So matchmaking through friends and family network or a professional network. Honestly, the best approach. 80% success rate with Talkify, with family and friends. 65% of couples back in the 1995 era used to connect through family and friends. Now it's 12%, mostly because people today don't have a family and friends network. Dating apps and dating processes back in the 1995 era, 12%. Now, 65%. They've swapped. We have swapped family and friend networks for dating apps. All right, Tinder. Who should I get disappointed by next? That's what people are doing nowadays. And no wonder Tinder has something like a 17% mutual swipe rate. 17% of your swipes are likely to land on a mutual. For some of you guys, you're shocked at that because it's not as likely. A lot of people, it's like a 1% or less. And then once you get together, 98% of those dating relationships are likely to break up. So of the 17% mutual, of the tiny sliver that and actually enter a full relationship, you have a 2% chance of success. It's something like a 0.02% chance of success through the dating apps, you guys. It's the worst method on the planet. Now, Amy, you asked about going in through mutual connections, mutual groups, matchmaking, or not matchmaking, interest groups, hobby groups, volunteering groups. Absolutely, yes. That's actually enhancing your network and asking for matchmaking and maybe finding them yourself or being connected to someone there. That is also great. That is also great. MER expanding the community is the really tough part. It is. I live in the sticks, renting from my folks, and can't afford to move the. In this, I hear you. I hear you. My mutual rate is zero. I hear you on that too. A lot of men have that. Sometimes your environment is the problem. Sometimes it is so dead that there's almost no one there. Finding ways to connect into that community is going to be higher quality of life anyway. So it's imperative to build a thriving community around yourself so that you have that connection. Absolutely, absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. So, number one, that is the best way to find a partner. Once you get to the dating process, again, that 3-date method. What do you do when the 3 dates are done? On the end of the 3rd date, you say, I've had a great time and you are fantastic. I am ready to go exclusive. If you are, I'm ready to go exclusive with you. I would love to make this official. Are you comfortable doing that? If not, what do you need to see? Building that in. Maybe you're not comfortable yet. I think we're heading in a great direction. I would love to see a couple more things before we go exclusive. Can we do those things? Can we talk about those? Can I meet your friends? Can you meet my friends? Whatever. Can we do that? You move the conversation along. Remember, way back on date number 1, you ended the first date by saying, I'm looking for a committed relationship. Now, instead of just dating, you're actually moving forward in a process called courtship. You're courting toward actually being together in a committed relationship. Huge difference between dating and courting, right? Matchmakers don't want you dating each other. They want you courting for marriage. Your family and friends probably don't want you dating. They want you courting toward a healthy, long-term committed relationship. Probably marriage. Probably marriage and a lot of little fat babies too. So that's the process, you guys. This is the process. Now, once you get into a committed relationship, you start having a lot of very serious discussions. There's the 4 levels of trust that I teach. A lot of my coaching clients need these when they come in, but you have to have shared values and goals. You have to understand both of those things and know that you're both moving toward them. You have to know that you're both taking accountability for your challenges and that you're both working to improve those things and that you can both accept each other where you are currently with your challenges, knowing that you're not enabling, you're both continuing growing. Once you're in a committed relationship, you sit down and have a conversation that says, hey, I want to be the best partner to you, best boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. What are 3 things I can do to make sure that you feel cared for inside this relationship? And how often do you need them? And why are they important to you in particular so I can understand you? That's great. I'm happy to do those things. Also, here are 3 things that make me feel cared for. Here's why I need them. Here's what they do for me. And here's how often I need them. Can you do these for me? Amazing. Mutual fulfillment. Let's take care of each other. Now, the reason you have to have 80% secure attachment is so you can overlap when one of you goes crazy and gets scared and nervous. You can come back to the table and have calm conversations. I teach this to a lot of my coaching clients when they come in and they're not sure if they're ready to get married. I say, what is your conflict telling you? When you have conflicts, what does it look like? Do you go into the conflict moment and then ask, do our goals align or are they a little off? And if they're a little off, do we have to fight about it or can we work on it together? What do you need? Here's what I need in this conversation. What do you need? What are you looking for? You move into cooperation. Or do they jump straight to conflict and start shooting or run away, don't trust you, start appeasing, right? Like falling all over themselves. Can you not have healthy conflict that moves toward cooperation? Does everything have to end up as a confrontation? This, in that first process of dating, you need to learn. The first 6 months of that courtship process, can we work together? When the dopamine dies at 5 to 7 months, can we still work together? Are we building emotional oxytocin bonding? Are we building intimacy? Are we building trust? What does it really look like when the masks come off? Are we having the hard talks that could break us up? By 6 months, you should know if you're compatible. Now you can get engaged. Say, I'm ready. Like, what more do you need to say before we get engaged and head toward marriage? At 6 months to a year, you get married at a year, let's assume a year, 12 to 18 months. That's what that next 6 to 12-month period from engagement, you are putting yourself through the fire. This does not mean you hate each other. It means you ask every possible question that could break you up. You push on every red flag. You ask about it. I noticed this. Tell me more about that. I know you did this. What happened? Hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? Are you changing this? You said you changed this. Are you still doing that? And you're pushing on this. You're building emotional intimacy. You're seeing if it's growing or shrinking. You build that connection together and see if you're fully compatible, especially in conflict. As you do this, by the end of 1 year or 18 months, 12 to 18 months, you should know. And you should be able to get married with confidence at 12 to 18 months because you have rigorously stress tested everything and you've built thriving emotional intimacy together. You resolve conflicts like that, and you're better bonded through the trust, through that vasopressin and oxytocin combination. This is how you get ready. And then I recommend a prenup. I recommend every single couple have a prenup. Not the man rakes the woman over the coals and takes everything and she's on the street. A real, actual prenup of how we would disengage if we had to. What is our mediation process? What does it look like in the lead up toward divorce? What does it look like if one of us commits adultery and cheats on the other person? What does it look like if we have kids? What does all this look like? You build this when the sun is shining so that you show each other, this is how I would treat you if things went poorly. This is where you really see who a person is. And then you start building that together. And then you also build a non-binding piece of that prenup. This is a whole marriage contract, a non-binding part. How will we work together? How will we care for each other? What religious beliefs will we hold as a couple? What are our goals? What are the 6 pillars of our marriage? I do this with most of my couples who come in for coaching. What are the 6 pillars of our marriage? How we agree to treat each other. I'm a big advocate for treating your marriage like a business and building it like a business. What's your mission statement and what are your 6 pillars of culture inside your marriage? What's the culture of your marriage? 6 pillars. Each of you builds 3 non-negotiables. Amazing. Put that in there. You should have an ongoing marriage contract that you both thrive in. Yes, there's a portion in there about what it would look like so you would if you had to end things so that it's so awful you don't. You build all of this in together and then you move forward into that relationship. This is the process. Honey, great to see you in here. Glad to see you recovered. Yes. I'm on, I think like day 17. I have like the slightest tickle in my throat, and that's it. Thank goodness. 17 days, you guys, to get through the flu that's out there right now. Please be safe. Please be well. I lost my voice for so long. So thank you. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for being in here, by the way. This is the process, though. This is the process. If you're just coming in, we're talking about the process to go from single all the way through into marriage. This is the process I walk couples through. This is the process I walk singles through in my coaching practice. This is the method to go from I don't have anybody to I'm happily married and secure for the rest of my life. This is the process. So there we go, you guys. Love the prenup. Yeah, people are surprised. Like, guys, prenup is normal and healthy. If you don't write a prenup, the state writes a prenup for you. So write a prenup, but it should be written not like, I'm going to screw you over. Everything is mine. You will die in the gutter. If someone's doing that during the prenup process when things are good, don't be in that relationship. My goodness, get out. It should be, this is how we will care for each other. This is what's expected. This is maybe you lose 25% if you're the cheater in the relationship. That's a reasonable thing to put in there. You talk with your lawyer, but put things in your prenup and make it make sense. This is how you will care for each other when the sun is not shining. You learn a lot about somebody going through the prenup process. Some girls do not like that business nature of relationships. They indirectly acknowledge it is. I hear you. All of the women who come through my coaching program, they start off saying, well, it feels transactional. Aha. Let me show you why it's the most trusting, amazing, intimate, fantastic, safe, fulfilling relationship structure there is. When I walk them through that, they're like, yeah, it's a business. And they're pumped for it. So it works. I know it works. I know it doesn't sound sexy, but it makes room for the overwhelming joy and romance because you've built in so much safety for everybody. I don't like the idea of giving a prenup. I don't think I'm going to get one. It's okay. I'm not gonna bust into your wedding and be like, I object. You don't have a prenup. That's not going to happen. But I do recommend putting that in there just so that you learn about each other. It's not like to protect my stuff. I mean, a little bit, but you learn so much about each other when you go through the process of what would we do if we hated each other's guts and I had to prioritize my money over you. what would we do? You learn a lot about somebody. People ask all the time, how will I learn about conflict with my partner? Invent conflict by actually going through the proper courtship process. Courtship brings so much conflict, you don't have to look for it. It's there in your face. You just ask the questions. Asking a lot more questions invites the right kind of conflict. So there we go, you guys. That is the process from single to married. I hope that that's been helpful. Usually at this point, what I do is I turn on members only chat and take your guys' questions. I'm open for those questions and let's do it. I'm taking questions on this topic. I want to clarify questions on this topic. What questions do you members, people with green chat text, and if you have questions, you can hit join right down here below. You get priority like this in all my live streams. What questions do you guys have about this topic here tonight? Honey, I don't care about the prenup because me feelings are important. It triggers insecurity and abandonment. I hear that, honey. A prenup, a good prenup that's done before marriage, when everything is sunny and shining and peaceful, should build your trust in the man that you're with, because it shouldn't be him going, and if this doesn't go my way, I will shoot you in the head and leave you for dead on the side of the road. It should be, no, here's how I'm going to make sure I take care of you for the rest of your life. Maybe not endlessly cater to you forever, but I will make sure I'm not viciously attacking you because money is not more important than you. It should be a process like that. JGJ, welcome to support the channel. Thank you so much. That's so helpful of you, so kind, and I can't do this without my members and my supporters. So thank you so much. Make sure you ask some questions down here. I'm here to help. Archeon, aren't there a lot of myths around divorce? This relates to the prenup, by the way. Aren't the majority of divorces done by people who've already been divorced once? Quite often, yeah. A lot of divorces are like multiple divorced people. That's usually the case. I think the actual divorce rate among first marriages is something like 35%. Actual divorce rate among all marriages is 50%. And the vast majority of those are over one marriage. Like some people are on their seventh marriage. I one of my family members got married to somebody on their seventh marriage. Each of them was on their own seventh marriage. And by the way, they were also previously married to each other somewhere in that mix and had got divorced, then came back on marriage number seven. So yes, boomers are currently tripling the divorce rates in their 70s and 80s right now. So yes, this is all too common. Hey, Adam, I'm way too distant from any prospects of marriage. Come from a South Indian background. Arranged marriage feels like forced. I hear that. I hear that. What? So you're from a South Indian background. Arranged marriage feels like forced. Do you have options? Right. I know sometimes family is like big and right there. Do you have options to seek other things? Could you, instead of forced arranged marriage, assisted marriage? Right. This is what we would call it more with like a matchmaking structure, not arranged, but assisted marriage. Do you have options like that? Anything like that? I hear that values are the most important thing in a relationship. Would you agree? Yes. Values, religious beliefs should align, especially if you're having children. Values about how you solve problems and what the priorities are, goals, all of those are absolutely important. A lot of those are the things that lead to big, massive divorce pieces. They'll say money or infidelity, but again, that comes back to values and goals, usually. Values and goals. What other questions do you members have about the topic tonight? I'm here to answer those. Good questions so far. Honey, you've usually got good questions too. Do you have any to throw in here? I'm going to scroll up and see if I missed any member questions up above because I don't want to. MBR, are you still floating in here? Any questions? Any questions? Hogan, you just joined us. Any questions that you have? JGJ, I see that you're typing something there. You just typed M. Let me know. Arkan, how important is physical proximity when it comes to dating? Pretty darn important, to be honest with you. You guys should be fairly local or have a plan to become local fairly quickly. It is torturous to be in long distance relationships. It is not natural. I'm not against them, but they are hard. They are very hard and they layer on a lot of unnatural difficulties. And especially if there's attachment issues already, especially if you have oxytocin withdrawal and oxytocin phobia or oxytocin addiction, cravings, if you are overwhelmingly afraid and fearful in those relationships, long distance is going to just destroy you. I feel like my mom thinks I'm doomed to failure no matter what I do, whether it's my job, career, or how to style my hair. The only friends I got close to were fellow South Indians, but that ended fast. I will say, I'm having a very large influx of people from South India or South Indian families living in other countries as well. Massive flood coming in, and a lot of them have the same feelings, like overwhelming expectations from parents, feeling like it's never going to work. Very difficult time with the concept of dating. Very, very feeling closed in, like they can't have friends. Very lonely, isolated, more existence. I've had a lot of those people coming in to try, and I'm trying to help. um, Honestly, one of the biggest components is building friendships with other human beings so that you see that you are acceptable and connected. Getting involved in non-professional groups. It could be hobby groups, but it also could just be men's groups. A lot of these people need men, other good, healthy men who can encourage you so you can begin opening up. There's a lot of men's groups. There's a lot of groups in general. I have the attachment circle with group coaching. My mentor, Dr. Robert Glover, has the integrated nation of men. There's fraternities, there's men groups all around the world that you can join. I very much recommend looking at some of those. Honey, I see a lot of my friends who are struggling with making connections. It's astonishing. All of them are disorganized. How do I evoke awareness to bring them to see your content? The way I do it is I ask questions. Hey, do you ever feel like this? Is this ever a problem for you? Have you ever felt this? Does this happen to you in your life? Does it happen a lot? Do you know why? Oh man, I found this resource, or I have this thing that I can show you. I can teach you this thing. This is the thing that changes everything. Like, if you want to know more, this is what you should learn. Let's watch it together. If you see all of my videos, they start with, are you experiencing this? Is this something that's happening? Are you feeling this way in your relationship? If so, you're not bad and it's not wrong of you. You're having this challenge and it's a normal challenge a lot of people have. There's this really cool thing you can learn about that should help. It's helped a lot of people who have that problem here. And then I give you the solution. I teach you what it is and then what to do about it. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm ruining the mystery for you, but that's like the framework for all the videos I release on this channel, right? Like, think of it that way. Use that as a roadmap, honey, to kind of do that. It's also from India. It's crazy here. Massive loneliness. I'm seeing here a lot of people wanting connection, going in circles. It's honestly a lot of, it seems like a tremendous amount of attachment issues are spreading to a lot of more traditional cultures right now. What started in America is just going boom everywhere throughout the whole world. And I'm not saying like America's the start, but the American, even just the Western idea is of individuality and performance and no relationships. It's spreading everywhere and destroying and destabilizing family structures, putting a lot of stress on families. Even Western obsession with financial benefits over everything, money over everything. Even that is really shredding a lot of traditional, healthier family cultures and just destroying them. So it's not all America. You're not all colonies. I'm not saying that, but this is unfortunately spreading to a lot of cultures, and a lot of cultures are responding with fear, sadness, loneliness, crushing isolation, especially in younger people. I think of Japan right now, South Korea. I think of those countries where the populations are just imploding because they're taking on this Western ideal, and it's just shredding people. So, unfortunately, too common. Archeon, going into dating, I bring a lot of grief. You should fix that. You should be working on that grief. You already know my story about how my life has gone as an adult. Should I get therapy, let go of the grief? Get Do the work, do the grief work. Absolutely. Now, don't spend 10 years doing it and then try to date, when you're like 50. Do the work, but also be meeting people and connecting with people. Remember that we often heal in relationship. Doesn't mean you have to go look for a woman to help you repair your grief, but start repairing and fixing that grief with a professional, hopefully, and then start building more friend connections, Arkin. I think what you need is friends, friends, friends. It's what most men and women nowadays need, is friendship more than anything. JGJ, I feel somewhat limiting that I live with my parents currently and they're getting older. I do hear that. That can feel limiting, especially if you feel smothered and enmeshed. There's close families and then there's enmeshed families where you can't breathe. You can't do anything on your own. You can't do anything right. You're constantly feeling controlled and smothered. That's enmeshment. There's healthier ways of living. You don't have to separate, never speak to your family. I'm not one of those people that teaches that usually, except in extreme cases. But enmeshment is not healthy for anybody involved. Building those boundaries and differentiating from your parents, very crucial. JGJ, you might need to differentiate from your mother because you might be feeling monogamous to her. A lot of nice guys have monogamous tendencies to their mother, and it makes it very hard to ever go out and date. I did a call with another person. She thought I was too blunt and asked if I was on the neurodivergent spectrum. You might just not have experience talking with people. You might just not. Maybe you've picked up your communication style from the family who is very directive at you and direct and blunt, and you just don't know what else to do. It sounds like you need a lot of communication approaches. I would very much recommend JGJ either work with me, right, and I have that going on, or check out Dr. Robert Glover's book. No More Mr. Nice Guy. Start there, or start with his Integrated Nation. I just did a big speech inside his group. I gave a presentation to his group. Again, he's my mentor. I love that book. He got me started on a lot of this process. But do some work. Honestly, it's time to start learning. The clock is ticking for you, and I don't mean like a horrible way, but I mean like your life is your life. You have a limited amount of it. Learn, start taking some steps. Women are probably not the answer right now. You probably need to learn from some men. I don't get out very often, so I'm afraid as a neurodivergent person on the autism spectrum, I'm going to come off super awkward. Practice. Guys, practice. Social communication is a skill, like archery, like pottery, like anything. It's a skill. Now, some people have an easier, more intuitive time with that skill. Cool. Some people learn it more manually. That's okay. You have the greatest university in the history of humanity, YouTube. How to get better at talking to people, how to talk more casually, how to talk less blunt to girls, right? Like you have so many things you can learn. I do work in IT and customer service. Okay. A lot of my clients work in IT, to be honest with you. A lot of them are in tech and things like that. High level tech executives also, but UI interfaces and everything too. So very, very common actually. Sometimes you need to learn things a little more manually. That's okay. I can hear my dog barking. It means my kids are playing with him. It's a good thing. I've heard customer service is the worst type of career for a guy. It makes it too nice. It definitely eats your soul quite often, honestly, having to just grit your teeth and be nice to people who are just jerks all day long. Now, some customer service is actually genuinely caring for people, and that can help. And nothing bad about people who do that, but it can be very soul crushing. It can feel very defeating. It can feel very, very hard to just knuckle down and just be nice to everybody and fake smile. People with anxious attachment can sometimes do great in customer service because you have the fawning skills necessary. You may not want to live in that forever, though. That's all. Guys, everybody, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Everybody watching after, usually I get a couple thousand views, but I hope this has been helpful tonight to have a clear picture about how you go from single to married and then beyond. Great talking with you guys. I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. US Central Time. It's the same hour that we just concluded. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be here to talk to you guys. Take care until then, and have good attachment.